will present about don't, do's. Firstly, I will introduce myself. My name is Siti Zahra binti Hamdi.
Hi, my name is Siti Faradila binti Abdullah.
Hi, my name is Fazrin Sadatun Nashira.
Hi, my name is Nuras Faria Shikin binti Hamadi.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Saidatul Norakila binti Zulnans.
Hello, my name is Sumati Bransa. I am from Post FPJ.
Introduction. Topic of presentation we choose is don'ts and do's. Our group member will present about good presentation versus bad presentation. Talking about this, in the community who are called lecturers, every presentation present in front of students or external participants must play a role responsibly and not neglect every action performed while speaking in front of participants.
So now I will start my presentation first. Don't show up late without your materials and dress informally. Do show up on time and prepared and dress appropriately. If you are new to the field of presentation, you will need to practice a few times before the actual presentation. This will give you some advantage among them. Firstly, you know that you are only using the time allotted for the presentation. If you are given 10 minutes, you make sure presentation is finished in less than that time. If even more, make sure no more than 2 until 3 minutes out of the 10 minutes allotted. Secondly, you also need to know the speed with which you speak. You don't have to speak too fast and too slow in intensity. This will affect the time taken to deliver the presentation. Thirdly, speaking fluency can also be improved because with enough practice, you can already remember the next slides. Therefore, during the presentation, you will be better prepared mentally to explain the next point. Lastly, with early preparation, you can get rid of unnecessary points and keep only the important points. You don't have to feel guilty for throwing out certain points because too many points will only confuse your listeners. So now I want to explain about the dress appropriately. For me, good appearance is also something that must be emphasized by a presenter. This is because an attractive appearance or character is able to attract the audience interest in listening to our speech. For example, while in the presentation in class, the lecturer also strongly encouraged us to appear in attractive and neat clothes. So now, I will pass to Siti Faradila.
Do turn off cell phone and put it away. Change your approach. If you lost the attention of several people, you should probably change your approach. You might pause for several seconds. Silence often snap people back to attention. Or you can ask a question and ask for a show of hands. Or ask a question of the group and await a response. Or do an exercise. Only one thing for getting. If you keep doing the same thing, you are going to lose even more people. Call a break. I once conduct a session with 6 people. At one point, 3 of them were on the smartphone and sometimes it's pretty unison. But this group deal with breaking news issue. Instead of proceeding to talk to the top of people, I said, it looks to me that a few of you have some pressing issue to deal with. Please take a 10 minutes break so you can deal with Tim and will going again when you are ready. Don't. If kill phone on an answer, but you phone away. Excessive kill phone as a at work can interfere with productivity even if your employer don't. When they ask, it's a good idea to limit yourself. Avoid temptation by keeping your phone is a dice drawer and checking and only let voice small pick up your calls. Instead of answering call, immediately set up your phone to F-Team or go to voicemail. Check your message regularly and respond to team based on the emergency. It is important to note that the system is not ideal when someone is counting on you to respond to emergency immediately. For example, you are the primary carrier. However, is an effective way to deal with no urgent call that don't require your immediate attention.
I will discuss my part is about presentation, don'ts and do's. So the first one is don't speak in a monotone voice. The speech problem monotone voice. Speaking in a monotone voice is real communication killer when the variety of your voice pitch doesn't vary. It's possible for your listener to maintain any interest in what you're saying. Next is do's. Speak loudly and clearly. Avoiding a monotone voice is especially important when your range of communication is limited. In pure audio mediums like phone calls, conference calls, or podcast appearances, you can convey meaning through your facial expressions or hand gestures. You have to rely solely on your voice. Even on video conference and Zoom meeting, the voice plays a critical role in keeping your audience engaged and conveying subtitles and your message. Firstly, you must do is stand up and speak up. Standing and talking all that needs to be done is so as to allow one to be focused. Therefore, the relationship between the lecturer and the participants is important so that the participants do not feel bored or sleepy. Not only that, you must prepare in advance to have calm, confident, and feel not nervous while delivering important sentences. Secondly, you must do is speak clearly and loudly. In this way, participants will be attuned to the tone of voice used when delivering a presentation face-to-face or online by using the Zoom meeting application. In fact, the participant will feel pressure when they hear a speaker loud and clear tone of voice from us. Breathe from your diaphragm. The vocal cords alike the wrist and the chin. The breath has a emphasis over them. The stronger the flow of air, the louder the sound. Inhale and exhale deeply to increase the volume of air in your lungs. When diaphragmatic breathing, your stomach should expand and contact with each breath. Thirdly, avoid yelling. Yelling constrains the vocal cords and can actually cause damage. Practice this exercise to discern the between yelling and volume control. Inhale deeply, open your mouth, exhale with making a harsh sound. Use your diaphragm to control the rate of air flow and observe how the sound gets loud and softer. This volume control Now do the same exercise, but try to affect the volume by turning your vocal cords. Notice the tension in your neck and strangled quality of the sound, that is yelling. Fourthly, maintain proper posture. Keep your shoulder neutral and your head canted. Your hair should be in line with shoulder and your chin relaxed. Do not tuck your chin or adjust your chin forward. Avoid slouching and keep your spine neutral and your rib cage relaxed. Finally, speaking using an monotone voice is dangerous.
Do's. Tell a story. As human beings, we're attracted to stories. This is why we go to the movie, read fiction, and yes, become all ears and hearing gossip. Thus, it's always a good idea to begin your presentation with a story or even spice it up with one in the middle. This can make all the difference between an engaged and indifferent audience. Keep a conversational tone. Many first-time public speakers try a bit too hard to make their speech expressive. As a result, their presentation appears showy and even pompous to the audience. To prevent this, simply use a conversational tone. Feel like you are communicating your message to individual people rather than a large audience. This will not only ease you up but will help the audience connect to you as well. After all, when you really look at it, you are talking to individual people, not their aggregation. Next, don't. A slide should never be the main source of information for the audience. Use it more engaging or credible. Always keep in mind that your audience needs to learn from you. The speakers, not from your slide, perhaps, and the worst thing you can do during a presentation is to read the script. Even glancing at the paper or screen far too many times is distracting enough. What's more, your audience will find it difficult to connect to your message, as it will all feel mechanical and staged. Next, it goes without saying that you shouldn't stuff any slide with text or include so much information with the textual visual that your audience gets overwhelmed and stop following your speech. When it comes to slide design, minimalism is your best friend. Last, to know if you're relying heavily on your slide or not, ask yourself this question: will my presentation still make sense without the slides? If the answer is no, then you shouldn't retain your script. But there's also a fun side to this. When you free your slides of the burdens to inform, they can now be used creatively and even enhance the effect of your.
Do use positive body language. Body language as part of nonverbal communication play an important role in shaping the audience impression of you as a speaker. There are many things we need to do during a presentation in body language. First, make eye contact. Always make eye contact with your audience. Eye contact indicates that you are interested in the communication. Second, open the arms. Make sure your hands are open. Open the arms display that you are confident with your content. You have confidence with your message. You also open the new ideas. You are not a threat to your audience. You want to enjoy the communication with audience. Third, little movement is required during performance. Don't just stop at one place. Use a stage while speaking to keep the environment active and positive. Lastly, the power of the pause. Make your speech more effective by using the power of the pause. There is no something you should do during the speech. Try to the pause first before speech for effective results. Don't use negative body language. First, the arm fold indicates that you are not interested in the speech or presentation. You are not open to others' and fresh ideas. A folded arms can indicate that you may be getting into your shell and you're uncomfortable in front of others. Second, look down or into space. You are on stage with a purpose. You are not there to talk to the ceiling or the floor. If you look down or look into the space, this indicates that you are not interested in the audience. Third, foot moving. The reason why people wiggle their feet is restlessness. You are not ready or you are tired of situation. In any case, you are shaking your leg. It's best that you get ready and head home to your presentation so that you don't let yourself and your audience get bored. Lastly, turn to the audience. When you do it, you bear it. As a result, you lost him. You describe it as if you don't care about it.
I'm going to present about do use handout and refer to the slide and don't fill the slide with a lot of small points. The first point is allow your audience to understand your points better and remember them afterwards. The second point is your audience has firm grasp of your arguments and detailed text. Number 3 is focus on your target audience. Number 4 is keeping your audience in mind means you tailor the handout to the paper. Number 5 is the condense the core statement of your presentation into the key points. Number 6 is limit your points to those which support your main argument. Number 7 point is keep the sub-items on the handout as simple as possible.
In conclusion, we consulted these works while writing this handout. This is not a comprehensive list of results on the handout topic, and we encourage you to do your own research to find additional publication. Please do not use this list as a model for the format of your own reference list, as it may not match the citation style you. No matter how you choose to the handwriting, make sure that you are doing it in a way that will leave your reader with a good final impression.